Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into a really influential book, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. First published way back in '97, but still making waves.
Absolutely. It's one of those books that promises a total mindset shift around money.
It really does, and it's built around this core contrast, right, between his two dads.
Yeah, his biological father, who he calls the poor dad, highly educated, followed the rules, but struggled financially.
Uh-huh. And then there's the rich dad, his friend's father, who wasn't traditionally educated in the same way, but, well, knew how to build wealth.
Exactly. And their advice on money, jobs, financial responsibility, completely different worlds.
So the book basically throws down a challenge to, conventional thinking.
It really does. It makes you ask, does our standard education system actually teach us what we need to know about money, about building real wealth?
Or does it just train us for what Kiyosaki famously calls the rat race?
That's his argument. Get good grades, get a safe job, work hard, save a bit. He questions that whole path.
Right. So our mission here is to dig into those core ideas. What are the biggest takeaways from Kiyosaki's perspective? How does he flip things around?
Well, a huge piece is financial literacy. But Kiyosaki's definition is maybe a bit different.
How so?
He hammers home the difference between an asset and a liability. And it's simple, maybe too simple for some, but powerful.
Okay.
An asset, for him, puts money in your pocket, period. A liability takes money out.
So unlike traditional accounting, like your house.
Often a liability in his view, unless it's, say, a rental property bringing cash. If it's just costing you mortgage, taxes, upkeep, it's taking money out.
Wow. Okay. That distinction alone forces you to reevaluate everything you own.
Totally. It shifts the focus from just earning high salary to acquiring things that generate income for you.
Which leads straight into that other big idea, doesn't it? Working for money versus...
Making money work for you. That's the goal he pushes.
How does he suggest you do that, practically speaking?
Right.
Moving beyond the paycheck.
It's about investing and entrepreneurship, building or buying assets, real estate, stocks, businesses, things that generate passive income.
So less focus on the 9-to-5 grind and more on owning the systems.
Exactly. Owning the systems that make money rather than just being a cog in the system. It's about achieving financial independence, not being tied to a job.
That sounds appealing, but also kind of daunting if you're used to the traditional path. Does he give a clear roadmap?
That's actually one of the main criticisms, right? The book is brilliant conceptually. It uses storytelling, these anecdotes about Rich Dad, to make complex ideas feel simple, motivational even.
Yeah, it's very readable.
Very. But it's not a step-by-step guide. Critics say it's too general, lacks concrete how-to steps, maybe a bit oversimplified or, idealistic for tricky situations.
So more philosophy than financial plan.
I think that's fair. It's about changing how you think first. The how-to comes later, maybe from other sources.
Okay, so bearing that in mind, the conceptual nature, the motivation, who really benefits the most from reading this or, listening to this deep dive?
I'd say young adults starting out, maybe new grads, anyone really who's starting to question that traditional career ladder.
People thinking about maybe starting their own thing?
Definitely. Entrepreneurs or people just curious about what financial independence could look like beyond just saving for retirement from a job. If you feel kind of stuck, it's a good place to start questioning.
So recapping then, Rich Dad, Poor Dad isn't the magic bullet, not a detailed plan.
No, but it's powerful. It offers a fundamentally different lens to view money, work, and assets through.
It pushes you to question the assumptions you've probably lived with your whole life.
Right. If you feel trapped in that paycheck cycle, if you're wondering if there's another way besides just get job, work hard, retire, this book, or at least its core ideas, can be a real catalyst.
It really gets you thinking. So maybe a final thought for you listening. How much of your current approach to money is just following the crowd, the conventional wisdom?
Yeah, versus how much is based on your understanding of how assets and liabilities actually work. Is your current path really getting you towards independence?
Or is it time to seriously explore how you can make money start working for you?